last one for the day, probably, man. So I was online the other day, man, and we was it was me and Adams boxing, and we was like tweeting about this upcoming fight with Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson. Now I lost a lot of thoughts that I had in my head from that day, but what I think that's a tough fight, son. Like this is to me, right? This fight is more important for Shakur's legacy and his status in boxing than it is Teo. Because Teo, not that people don't take Teo serious, but he's not the he's I mean this is a big fight for him too, but I feel like Teofimo isn't the guy that is gonna hold key future fights that are big, that people want to see, that's highly anticipated. Like, you know, people want to see Shakur versus Devin Haney. That's a fight that, you know, even that was the dream fight. That been the dream fight since we heard of these guys and we watched them come up in the sport of boxing, right? So I think that, that the fans and the promoters feel like Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney. Devin Haney almost blew that bag, but I think that that's the big fight that, that was the showdown we all been waiting for. Because remember, they were building that fight up, man. I think after Shakur beat Roma, they was building that fight up. I think Shakur, he was down at 130. I think he came up to 135 around that time, and he was coming for that belt. Remember, he got in the ring, and they were supposed to. That was a fight that was supposed to, materialize by now. But Haney went different, right? He couldn't make the weight no more. Moved up, gets a win. Then you lost to Ryan Garcia. You get your old back, and that almost threw a monkey wrench in his career. And it actually did throw a monkey wrench in his career. But now he's back on top. He got his old back, through the course, and he beat a really good fighter. So I'm saying, Brian Norman Jr. And this is setting up now. If Shakur can beat Teo, this can set up a showdown. Now they can start rebuilding that fight. You know what I'm saying? But not only that, this is a chance for Shakur to really showcase his skill set, because we never got a chance to see him showcase his skill set when he fought Dos Santos. He moved a lot in that fight. Fans got upset, and he didn't try to exchange really, and he did that with that African kid too, where he boxed the African kid, but he didn't really stand and like engage and like really stand his ground, go for the knockout. And fans, then that's when fans first like, damn, they gave him the pass on that one. But then that Dos Santos fight, that was bad, man. So he's tried to redeem himself since that. And, he beat Cepeda, and he beat Valdez. He's got some good wins on his resume. Problem is, those guys, they're tailor-made for his style, because it's like playing Matador. They're gonna come forward, they're gonna throw heavy punches, they're gonna try to go to the body, they're gonna try to break you down and get you out of there. There's no real plan B with those guys. They're hard punches, and They're gonna beat lesser opponents. But those guys that can box, that got good jabs, that got reach, that now he stood in the pocket a lot more with Cepeda, and he gave the fans a decent fight, man. Now the problem is gonna be is what Shakur is gonna show up in this fight. Are you gonna because he's gonna have to show something, and he gonna have to let his hands go, and he gonna have to go for it in this fight a lot more than he did in previous fights if he wants to build himself into really being a pay-per-view star where people is going to want to see his fights, man. Because you can't go in there and make it a boring 12-round fight unless, you just totally dominating T.O., then, which I doubt he's going to do that, because T.O. poses a lot of problems, like I was, saying to Adams Boxing. T.O., he has a jab, he's elusive, he's quick, and he has power. The problem is what T.O.'s going to show up. Now, T.O. ain't going to come in there trying to play Matador. If he does that, then he's going to lose. But if he comes in there and he's laser focused, because he does show up for big fights, and that's what makes this fight scary. Because if T.O. comes in there laser focused, that could be a problem for Shakur, because Shakur, you got to show that you got some power to keep this dude off you. And, T.O., like I said, he's elusive and he's tricky. And we really haven't seen Shakur style against a tricky type fighter. Now, Shakur has the technical advantage because he's technically sound. T.O., though, he might have a slight, athletic advantage because he's a little bit more loosey-goosey in the ring. Shakur's more of a tight defensive guard type fighter from what I've seen. I'm just a fan. But, I ain't no expert in boxing and none of that shit. I'm not going to sit here and act like I got connects and I know this and I'm a trainer or I buy on no shit. I'm just a fan, B. Just giving my opinion. That's it. Shakur, to me, he's not like that. Like, see, Mayweather, he will showcase his reflexes. Not saying Shakur don't, but that's not really, saying like he's more of a footwork type guy. Like, he know how to get out the way. He'll get out the way. He'll pivot you. He can use the ring with his feet. But when you look at T.O., he has more elusiveness to him. Like, he's a little more loose out there. He can get into a rhythm as well as Shakur can. And T.O. can pose some problems, man. He's more awkward. And I just don't think it's a walk in the park for Shakur. Now, I think Shakur should be able to win if he can control the fight with his jab, and he's a southpaw, and he has the range. He should have the range. It looks like he's a taller guy. I'm not too sure. I got to do my research on that. But, he may have the better jab. This is going to be about who got the better jab. You know what I'm saying? And this is a shout out to both of them for taking this fight, because this is one of those fights that we were waiting for, man. We needed to see, like, this is like one of those Duran Sugar Ray type fights, or Duran Hearns type shit, man, that we needed to see, or Duran Hagler type shit. Like, we need to see these little niggas get in there, man. And it's time, man. So, depending on how Shakur does in this fight, if he can do well, get a knockdown, maybe go for the stoppage, he might, resurrect that pay-per-view career. Even if he wins the fight, it's gonna build up the Devin Haney shit, because that's the fight people really want to see. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's probably a bigger fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, but for T.O. wins this fight, it could also set him up for Devin Haney. You know, that makes that fight big as well too. And you know, it can you know what I mean, but see, like the opponents for Tio is like who's he gonna fight after that? It's like for Shakur, he wins this fight. He has, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like it opens the door for him to get on a bigger stage. And now he'll, you know what I'm saying, get, because I doubt Shakur will probably go to 147 or one unless it's a Devin Haney fight. But if he stay, you know, he can't get that Devin Haney fight, and puts on a great performance in this fight, he'll definitely get like an Antoine Russell Jr. He'll get another big fight. You know what I'm saying? They may not equate to Haney, but now he's definitely an A-side, and now he's definitely a pay-per-view star, you know. But we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens, and you know it's gonna be a good fight. I think the fight is January 31st. You know, I will be watching, man. Many Face Publishing, I'm out, man. Peace.